For this one, we're going to get into the story of Medusa. I will be retelling the Greek story of Medusa, and that's primarily because that's the information that's out there. The real Medusa, however, she was a beautiful African serpent goddess who wore a pouch of snakes around her waist that represented wisdom and renewal. And the Greeks, they were so threatened by her beauty and her skin tone that they created and spun their own narrative to prevent the Greek men from falling in love. Now just remember that going forward. In Greek mythology, Medusa is one of a trio of Gorgon sisters that's generally described as being winged human females with venomous snakes for hair whose appearance can turn men to stone. Medusa, whose name probably comes from the Greek word for guardian, was one of the three Gorgons, daughters to the sea gods Phorkys and Ceto. And all of Medusa's siblings were born monsters except for her. She was born beautiful and she was born immortal. And together they either lived on the western end of the world or on the island of Sarpedon in Poseidon's great ocean. And Medusa, the beautiful mortal, was an exception to her family until she incurred the wrath of Athena due to either her boastfulness or an ill-fated love affair with Poseidon. And just like a regular man, the great sea god Poseidon, who admired her so much for her beauty, couldn't resist temptation and ended up impregnating Medusa at the temple of Athena. Enraged by all the humping going on in her temple, Athena turned Medusa's lovely hair into serpents, turning the youngest Gorgon into the monster we know today. And not long after that, the king of Seriphos, Polydectes, enlisted the help of Greek hero Perseus to fetch him the head of Medusa. And with the help of Athena and Hermes, and after discovering the whereabouts of Medusa, he finally located the fabled land of the Gorgons. And while Medusa was asleep, Perseus used Athena's bronze shield as a guide because of that whole turning men to stones thing, and cut off Medusa's head with a sickle. But the story doesn't end there. You see, Medusa was pregnant at the time of her death, so when her head was severed, her two unborn children, Chrysaor and Pegasus, were birthed from her neck. And all this hubbub woke up the rest of the Gorgons, and they wanted to avenge their sister's death. However, they couldn't see or catch Perseus because he was wearing Hades' cap of invisibility and Hermes' winged sandals. And now that Perseus had Medusa's head in a bag, he went to go return it to Seriphos, and while he was flying over Libya, droplets of Medusa's blood fell to the ground, and from the drops of blood, serpents came, and it's said that that's why Libya has so many snakes. But I don't know if that's true. And once Perseus was back in Seriphos, he found out that the king Polydectes was trying to force his mother into marriage, so he shone the head to Polydectes, turning him into stone, and then after that he gave the head to Athena, who then placed the head on her shield. The petrifying snake-headed Medusa is instantly recognizable in pop culture, and I would be hard-pressed to meet anyone who didn't know who she was. Now fellas, keep your gazes to a minimum.